Welcome back to the fifth and final lesson of this free beginner Saber series from the Flow Warrior Academy. In today's lesson, I'll be sharing some important training tips, as well as invite you to join a thriving online community of Saber practitioners. If you're interested in what comes next and are eager to learn more, this beginner series is meant as an introduction to my intermediate single Saber course, which I'll link in the description below, along with a promo code that will give $30 off to anyone who has completed this beginner series. With that out of the way, here are some helpful training tips that will help you get the most out of your practice. Training tip number 1, repetition. Becoming proficient with any complex movement pattern requires many repetitions. Don't satisfy yourself with being able to complete a motion once. You want to repeat it hundreds if not thousands of times until the muscle memory is so deeply ingrained that it becomes effortless. Training tip number 2, perfect practice. They often say that practice makes perfect, but in reality it's just as easy to train bad habits as it is to train good ones. So the truth is that perfect practice makes perfect. So what do I mean by perfect practice? First of all, you need to be able to walk before you can run. Quality is always more important than speed, and people often make the mistake of trying to go too quickly before developing the quality of movement, which will train bad habits and risk injury. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So when practicing any new Saber technique, you want to make sure that you're going as slow as you need to have very careful attention to detail, and then progressively speed up the Saber. By attention to detail, I mean attention to the plane of the Saber, to the motion of your body, to the redirection of momentum and the elimination of any unnecessary movement. You also want to break down complex techniques into small, easy-to-digest components before you put them together, like I've done in these tutorials. So in the case of the basic flow, we have a forward weave, we stop, do a shoulder circle to transition to the other side, reverse weave, stop, shoulder transition to the other side. If you're ever having difficulty with a particular part of a movement, try and isolate and identify what that part is and practice that independently before trying to piece it together with the whole. Training tip number 3, complete practice. As I mentioned in the previous lessons, almost all of the techniques that we've learned so far can be done in both forward and reverse directions, in both forward and reverse grips, in both our left and right hands, and in multiple planes around our body. It's important that you practice these techniques in all of their variations to have a complete and balanced Saber practice that will serve as the foundation for more advanced techniques later on. Training tip number 4, whole body movement. We often make the mistake of focusing only on what the Saber is doing without paying any attention to what the rest of our body is doing. But if we start to think a little bit more holistically about our body movement, we can do a few simple things that will make all of our techniques look much stronger and more aesthetically pleasing. The first easy thing that we can do is create a simple hand shape or stance and place it about a foot in front of our chest while we perform other techniques like I've demonstrated in most of these videos, instead of letting it hang loosely by our side. The second really simple thing that we can do is, instead of standing up straight while we perform these movements, we can widen our feet and lower our stance, providing a much stronger base for all of our technique. The final bonus training tip that I'll offer you is consistency. If you really want to level up your Saber technique, then I challenge you to commit to just 10 minutes a day of Saber practice. If you practice 10 minutes a day with the tips that I've provided you right here, you'll be amazed at how quickly you level up. And if you want a little bit of help and support along the way, I invite you to come join the Lightsaber Technique Facebook group, a thriving and inclusive online community where people share tips, tutorials, training videos, inspiration, and encouragement. I also encourage you to share your progress with me by tagging me on Instagram and TikTok using @the.flowwarrior and by using the hashtags Flow Warrior Academy and Lightsaber Technique. That about does it for this beginner Saber series. Don't forget to follow me on social media for more high quality lightsaber and flow arts content, and stay tuned for the rest of my Level 1 Saber series, which includes courses on throws, dual wielding, saber staff, and martial flow. Once again, I'm the Flow Warrior, showing you how to unleash the force within you.